Okay, so here's one way to weather the economic storm: sell weather gear. Our next guest came up with an innovative idea, and it didn't take long to start pulling in sales of $450 million. Well, it took a couple of years anyway. Actually, 1 year. He's the main man behind a line of popular weather garments, and one of the reasons it took such a short period of time is because celebrities and weather reporters in the field have made it a staple. Freddie Stollmack, president of Weatherproof Garment Company, joins us now. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
You do wild promotions, by the way. That's one thing you're getting known for.
Yes, it's I think part of the success has been just being a little bit offbeat.
This is, by the way, can we get a close-up of this? Maybe I should bring it up here. Let's see, which camera? Okay, that's the camera. This is the commercial that you've probably seen, or one of the advertisements you've probably seen. One great coat is your design. I guess you came up with this idea, right?
Well, it's myself and Elliot Pizer. We sort of collaborate. We sit next to each other in the office, and I have a crazy idea. He says, yeah, that sounds good, and vice versa.
Now, Pizer is the company that you started in business with. They've been in business for about 60 years,
They
right?
just celebrated the 60th anniversary.
So you came to them, what, about 15 years ago?
About 15 years ago.
And said what?
And said, I'd like to start a collection of outerwear. And they said, we don't really need it. And I said, well, I have a concept. And they said, well, we'll give you an office, we'll give you a telephone, we'll make samples for you, and go knock yourself out. And so I said, that's exactly what I did.
You're pretty good sales. Just on that talk, they managed to back you up all that way?
Well, as Paul said, Paul Pizer is the principal, one of the principals, said, I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And so, having said that, I decided to put the entire collection together in a fabric that was not very popular back then, which was microfiber. It was prevalent in women's, but not in men's. And we introduced it in men's.
And we should mention it's a lighter material.
It's a lighter material. It's a polyester fabric, and it has a very soft touch to it. And the first people we showed it to said, this will never fly.
Why?
Because it's too feminine. And you better change it. And I said, that's exactly what we want to do.
How did you stick to your guns? How did you know to stick to your guns?
That's a very good question. Stuck to my guns because I heard Ralph Lauren say to the general merchandise manager of Bloomingdale's, when the GMM said to him, Ralph, that's a nice suit, but those lapels are a little bit too wide. And he said to them, that's exactly where I want them to be. And, you know, this business is so much about instinct and intuition. And who knows, you know? And who knew that that microfiber fabric was going to revolutionize the textile business?
But is it just a crapshoot, or do you, because there must be some people out there who have crazy designs that don't work, and they stick to their guns and never make it.
That's true. And you're talking to one of them.
So you're just, you're lucky. There's a certain amount of luck to it.
A certain amount of luck.
Now, there is also promotion, and you are wonderful, as I was saying about promotion. The Naked Cowboy, for example, who we've had on this show before. Yes. You decided to put a coat on the Naked Cowboy.
Naked Cowboy, and we showed up for the writer's strike and gave the writers coats. And what we try to do is anything a little bit offbeat.
And what I love, the people in the world who have the thinnest skin of all are journalists and reporters.
Right.
And whether they're TV or print, and I know because I've been in the business for about 30 years now. And you came out with an idea that you were going to have a 2-second ad in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And
what happened?
Well, we did the math, and 30 seconds was, I believe, at that point, $2.7 million. And we did the math, and we said, what about shortening it a little bit? Now, our whole philosophy in advertising is less is more. And we love the name Weatherproof. So we approached, I think it was Fox at the time, prior to the Super Bowl, and said, we'd like to buy 2 seconds. And what we'd like to do is just flash our name, Weatherproof, in front of the cameras. And they said, we're not really interested in the 2-second commercial. Plus, it's a little bit late.
So you actually did go, because some people were questioning whether you did or not, whether the whole thing was just a setup to get attention.
100%, and we estimated the price would have been about $200,000 for those 2 seconds, which was in our budget.
And were you surprised at how furious the media became, particularly another business channel, the name of which I've just forgotten.
I've forgotten it also, but I think they had bigger fish to fry. In other words, they basically don't want to promote 2-second commercials. They have a lot of their subscribers are advertisers, so I think they had another mode of going there, knocking our integrity actually.
Back to the business though, and the integrity of the material. It's selling even in this down market.
It's selling even in this down market. I want to touch that in a minute, but I just want to say that the fallout on that 2-second commercial was getting us on ABC World News with Charlie Gibson. He
So
thought
it
it was
worked.
a great story.
So
in a
it
way,
worked.
that wasn't our motive going
All right.
in, but it worked.
We have literally run out of time, but quickly, selling your material now in this downtime. How is it selling?
It's selling extremely well, and it's really a price-value relationship. In other words, we have a brand, and our prices are extremely strong.
So everything is doing well, and your distribution, it doesn't matter what part of the country it's in, it still sells well?
It still sells well. If you recall, last couple of months ago, we bought some weather insurance because we were concerned about
we were
very concerned about the weather, and it affects that-aware sales. Fortunately, we didn't collect on it, but we're just always looking for these innovative approaches.
Weatherproof. You coined the term, right?
Yes.
All right, great to see it.
Thank you very much.
Continued success on the
Thank you.
products. They're terrific.
Thank
we
you
love them.
Thanks
We love
very
them.
much.
Thanks for coming.